Here we have my pedal board. Please excuse the wire mess in the back, for I have not yet completed my custom snake for it. First, I'd like to address the concern brought to my attention previously in regards to tone. Each of these pedals are on a true bypass loop. Only the selected pedals in each patch earn the signal path at the time of activation. All unused pedals are on a different physical path while not selected. This means that my signal only runs through the selected pedals as opposed to all of them as it would be in a typical setup. This is all possible by the gig rig shown here in the lower left. This device is not only a true bypass loop, but removes all the tap dancing many Stompbox users experience. For each patch, you can select one to several pedals to be activated at once, controlled by a single foot stomp, and each deactivated the same way. You don't need a $1,400 gig rig, however, as there are other companies that make them, like Carl Martin and Decibel 11. This setup is run through the effects loop on my head and has little impact to my tone. I recommend using the effects loop if you have one. If I'm not mistaken, the effect is added post-gain staging, so the individual effects levels don't mimic an overdrive effect further distorting your tone, or at least something like that. The order in which you place your effects is equally important. I have done a comparison between unplugging the board completely and turning the effects loop off and noticed a little difference. In a live situation, it is unnoticeable. Additionally, I try to use the best quality cables I can afford. This is my dual rectifier, a high-gain monster as you may already know. Below, the standard slant cabinet they make for the dual recs. It has rich mids and screaming highs that help you stand out in a mix. The dual rectifier has been a staple in the metal community for decades. In the corner is my other cabinet made by Crate. I believe discontinued actually. Sometimes I use it when I go full stack. Over here is the smaller half of my board, consisting of my stage tuner and the original dual rectifier foot switch. This is kept in my setup as a plan B. Should there be a catastrophic failure with my pedal board, I can bypass the effects loop and continue to play straight through the head. So far, however, it hasn't come to that, knock on wood. The effects on the board and the order in which they are in series are the Ibanez Weeping Demon, the Digitech Whammy. Then we have my TS9 Tube Screamer, which is actually not in the series at all. My guitar goes straight into it and it into my head. This is how all overdrives should be wired. Then we have my Phase Shifter, Tremolo, the Harmonist, which is an awesome pedal if you don't have one already, a digital reverb, a digital delay, a noise suppressor, and finally my Mesa 5-band EQ, which is built from the same electronics and configuration as the EQ section in the Mesa Mark V head. I have been asked why I spent all the money and time on this big bulky setup as opposed to a tiny portable Axe Effects, and I have two reasons. One, I feel the individual stomp boxes have their own coloration and tone that you just won't get from an Axe Effects. And two, digital units have to load algorithms, in which case it causes a split-second delay between switching sounds. Stomp boxes are fairly instantaneous. Here we see it with the lights off. I added blue LEDs to it, not just for looks, but it does make your setup much easier to locate on a dark stage. I'd like to also mention that being that they are LED lights, they don't interfere with my tone. Seven strings are the weapon of choice in To Awaken In Reign. We have 6s and 8s, but this is just the preferred range, most of the time anyways. I play the Ibanez Xiphos model. On the left, my main, that has bare knuckle pickups. Honestly, I hated them until I figured out how to dial in the correct tone for them. Now I find them to be quite articulate. On the right is my spare stage guitar, loaded with stock deactivators. Having different pickups is useful when recording, so I haven't installed a set of matching pickups. In part 2 of this rundown, I will demonstrate my tone and some of my effects.